sta solo Tevez salito dell'area, li fa fuori tutti, Tevez, si apre la porta, Tevez, gol, da dietro, Pirlo dentro,
Hey Juventus, welcome back to the All Juvecast channel. It's myself, Anthony, and Omer today. And how's everybody doing? How you doing, fellas?
Absolutely living the dream. What else would I be doing, Al? It's sunny outside. As summer is not 3 feet of snow, so let's get this baby rolling. Omer, how you doing, baby?
Yeah, basically exactly the same. Exactly the same. No snow too, a little too hot, and everything is just fine.
Nice. And Bob, of course. Good morning, Bob. And Delict news straight to We'll get to Matthias. We'll get to Matthias Delict, absolutely. But we're gonna start off before we get into our feelings on this Mercato so far and everything. We'll talk a little bit about the training sessions and whatnot. I found myself going down a rabbit hole too, by the way, yesterday on videos from Juventus, those behind the scenes ones, the one on Pogba's arrival and whatnot. Awesome videos. If anybody hasn't seen those, check them out. They're good watches. Animesh coming in. Hey, Bob's the OGs. Yeah, you got the OGs. The OGs today. We got a few other OGs too. Still missing, but it's all good. It's all good. But guys, the training sessions, man, even just in Clippets, is one thing I said about Di Maria, and that was, regardless of age, the quality is just, it's there and can't be denied. And man, even in the clips you're watching, this guy's fun to watch, man. He's fun to watch in those sessions. I'm pretty excited about him coming in there this season and whatnot. And then Paul is he's Paul, man. And you're starting to hear other players talk about it too and the quality and whatnot. But Di Maria's leadership has been getting a ton of praise from other guys in the locker room and whatever already, like so quick. So it's pretty cool. What are you guys, your thoughts on training session so far and just even watching these clips, and what are you as excited? Are you even more excited now about Paul and Di Maria?
Omer?
Yeah, absolutely. Those videos are like a reset for me to the new season. When the first training videos come up, when everyone comes back from their holidays, and it doesn't matter who the manager is or who we sign, it always gets me pumped up. Just like a little kid, I swear. I see them and let's go. Brand new season. I love it.
There you go.
You can clearly see the quality of the players. They're world class. Di Maria is just phenomenal. He's so talented, man. So much
it's a different feeling maybe when, like, Al, where you and I live. We actually play football all year round, but in the winter time, once you get through the winter and the spring, that first smell of grass outside, it's that feeling that football's back. I'm sure these players have the same thing, but are we really talking about practice? Is this what we're talking about now? Practice? I'm just joking. That's a throwback to Allen Iverson. But it's you can see the team's enthusiastic. Pogba coming in, from what I've seen, the positivity that he's bringing behind the scenes, lifting the team up, especially with a lot of, maybe some players going out, some players leaving, some players wanting to leave, some players wanting to leave and maybe staying. But Di Maria, I knew this was going to happen. He's a champion. He's he's older, but he has that experience. I think this is going to be great for the younger guys, and it's paying off in aces. So very, very excited for this season already so far. And hey, Al, you're going to be there. You're going to see them live in a couple weeks. So
yeah, we got a couple weeks away from the U.S. Summer Tour, and I'll be at the LA one, July 30th, and that's gonna be awesome. I'm pretty pumped. I got the schedule, and it's a 7 p.m. start time for that game, which means that the post match and everything like that will be after 10 p.m. and then I'm sure there'll be some events going on, and then I've got a 7 a.m. flight back home. So it was the only flight I can get. I'm not pumped on that 7 a.m. back.
7 p.m. local time?
Yeah. Game starts at 7 p.m. It says 7 p.m. to 10, so I think there'll be some extended stuff going on in between, like halves and stuff like that. But it'll be good. It'll still be an awesome time.
And just announced today, Omer, you're going to be at a game, right?
Yeah, I'm going to be at a game. against Atletico Madrid on the 7th of August.
Nice.
Fantastic.
There
And
we
I'll be
go.
sitting
There we
right
go.
here.
Yeah.
Yes.
So again, for everybody that's going to be there, I know Lorenzo's going to be there as he's got there. LA, here we go. We are going to have, I'll put out a little itinerary for like stuff that's combined between all Juve cast and the Juve SoCal fan club. Okay. So we are going to have some stuff, and yeah, that'll be out on the Twitter account probably about couple days before the actual match day. So maybe 27th, somewhere around there, you'll be able to see that off our Twitter account. By the way, real quick, Omer is one of the guys that tackles the news for the Twitter account. I have to give a massive shout out to all the guys involved. Anth is another one. Lou, who's in the chat today, massive shout out. There's Lucci, there's Luca, like everybody. It's a joint effort, but these guys are absolutely crushing it during a time where the news is absolutely unreal. Like, you take everything, again, we lay it out for you to play it out. Take everything with a grain of salt, okay? It is what it is. Don't shoot the messengers, okay? But now we can get into some.
Actually, before we get into some, this is I'm going to pull the curtain back a little bit on the AJC group chat. All the news that has come out, like there's been a lot of news here and there, rumors, this, that. And I was trying to explain this to Lou. We were having a bit of a conversation. For all the news that has come out, how much of it has been baloney? For the most part, it's been like, even the rumors have turned into something that, like, Molina was probably the only one that wasn't really true, but everything that's come out so far has been quite accurate.
Yeah.
You get that feeling?
No.
I don't think so.
Absolutely
I'm
not.
actually I'm on the other side. I think guys that are higher up, and I don't know where the shift has been because I don't know the details behind the scenes or whatnot, but
yeah, I don't want to really get into that. But
I honestly think that a couple of the guys that were better and higher up, I think they've lost their sources, their top sources, because they've been the ones that have been a little bit off kilt. And for me, there's two guys that have been ahead of the rest when it's come to the Juve stuff. This particular Mercato, I have no problem naming them either. It's Mirko Di Natale and Nico Schira. Those two have been like this the whole way through. The Molina thing, I think there was like something lost in translation. I think Juve was interested. I think what they meant when they said Juventus was never actually in on Molina, I think Juventus never actually presented an offer is what they meant. Yeah. But I think the interest was there. And either way, whether it's not putting an offer in or not in on them, either way, it's disappointing. Like, I mean, let's be honest. But again, I just, there's certain things, and I guess we can get into it now with the roster. There's certain players I can't get behind still not moving in a certain manner. The Cambiasso thing, I think we can kick it off with the Cambiasso thing, because fans, I've seen this shift. Obviously, I do the daily stuff on the YouTube channel for us. And in the comment section, I know you can see it, Anth, because you're always in there mixing it up with everybody, is you can see a shift this past week in feelings of that optimism, that excitement. And that's probably natural because we locked up and finally got the official news of Pogba and Di Maria, and then now have got into that next wave of signings, which is very much going to be that domino effect, and nothing is happening. And now you're starting to see some other teams pick up guys that were linked with us. And now you start to feel this frustration, and, you got some of it and starting to panic a lot because we need defense and whatnot and et cetera, right? And center back situation. So I'm going to kick it off with the Molina thing. Cambiasso, for me, you can't roll with Sandro yet again. Oh, man. I understand loaning out Cambiasso, but why make that decision so early into the training sessions? And not only that, but I understand not being able to move Sandro. I'm fine with it. I understand it. I am not fine with a guy getting a roster spot simply because we can't move him. You know what I mean? Like, your pay grade, when everyone could admit it was a mistake on that extension in the last contract he got, that shouldn't automatically gain your position and your spot on a roster. I feel like I will scream that from a mountaintop. Like, I'm done with
You have been.
So Cambiasso, in my opinion, should have stayed. And there's people that have fought with me on Twitter saying that Sandro is the better player, and I disagree. I would rather take growing pains with somebody that has a future than struggle and take pain from a guy that's a dead end. I'm done there.
Okay, I think Omer is going to be on your side, so I'm actually on the other side of this conversation. So the one glaring thing on this was how quickly they signed him and loaned him. So they know something that we don't, that he's just not ready. Last 2 seasons ago, he was in Serie D or Serie C. So I think we need to pump the brakes a little bit on the expectations of this kid. I agree with you that I know your frustrations with Sandro. I agree that something has to be done at left back. I don't think Cambiasso is the answer this season. He may be the answer next season. I think he needs a full slate of games. I think he had 26 games last year with Genoa. Good. But let's get him another full year in Serie A. I just don't think he has it yet. For me, and I said this on Twitter yesterday, Sandro cost us 1 game last year. That Supercoppa game. He cost us. Now, I agree that he offers nothing going forward. I get that. But as a defender, as a defender in Allegri's system, he's not costing us games.
That defending thing, that defending defense for Sandro is dead. It's gone. He was getting burnt by junk last year, man.
So was Cambiasso. So what are we doing here?
Because the growing pains are fine for a guy that could have a future. And the thing is that he's a better mix. He's a better mix because he gives you at least a little support. Why suffer in both phases of the pitch? Because you're saying, Cambiasso struggles defensively too, but at least he offers offensive play too. You can't have all our fullbacks being DeCilio, Sandro, Pellegrini. Like, you have to have somebody that's got a little bit of flair in there. Cuadrado can't play an entire season anymore. Like, those days are gone too.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to balance it out from one side to the other. You got to have another guy that can at least provide something a little more offensively.
The speed at which this loan was done is an indication that they know he's not ready. Like, not even bringing him in to training says to me, like, with a big train spotlight, that he's not ready. They don't think he's ready. Now, I'm not a big Sandro defender. I'm just saying, in this situation, there's a reason for it, and I just think he's just not ready.
I think the reason is Pellegrini, actually, because there were talks that West Ham were super interested and is about to leave, but it has cooled down in the past couple of weeks.
That's true.
We don't hear about him leaving. I read some reports that he came back to training super motivated, super fit, and maybe, I don't know, Allegri saw something in that, and they are going to keep him. If we move out Pellegrini and we moved out Cambiasso, and
that's a problem.
Options are either Sandro or natural right backs, then that's a screw up by the management.
Then I agree that's a problem. I think Pellegrini's the starter.
Look, 3 seasons ago, we got stuck with only Sandro, and it was horrible in the Sarri season. Everyone left, we sold Spinazzola, and bam, only Sandro. Then Frabotta came into the mix, and it's like every season it's a bit unbalanced and a bit out of necessity more than planning. And maybe Pellegrini is the plan for this season, and Sandro is going to take a back seat. And I do get that you can't pay someone $6 million a year and have him sit on the bench all season. You have to produce something out of him. So I see both sides of the argument, but
I don't think you do.
Sandro, okay.
I don't think you do. And Arriva Ben has kind of set that tone that he doesn't care and is what it is. Sandro is protected, make no mistake, by a manager, okay? Make no mistake, Allegri's more than happy to roll with Sandro. And I'm telling you, just be ready. Be ready for the I told you so's coming with Sandro this season. It's been a couple. I hope I'm wrong. But I'm telling you, like, that's the part out of this whole Mercato that's kind of shocking to me. And if Cambiasso isn't ready, let's say Cambiasso, okay, so he's not ready. Again, the fullback situation is a weird one. We've all said it for a while. You have to figure something out at fullback with this team. Okay? The amount of forwards that have left, you need to figure out something there. Maybe Quadrado's not going to be rotated at the fullback position, and maybe he's going to be used up top again. So there's a lot of question marks, but not having a fullback come in to play on this team, that's kind of sketchy. And this Sandro thing, again, I don't care. You pay a guy $6 million that he just shouldn't be around anymore. They got to figure something out. And if it was in fact Cambiasso who came in to cover for Pellegrini and now they can't move Pellegrini, that's fine, but it doesn't change anything in the whole scope of things. This team needs fullback help. And whether they extended DeCilio, couldn't move Pellegrini, brought in Cambiasso, loaned him out immediately, like, that position's very, very strange. Very, very strange. Molina.
Yeah, Molina's gone, right?
Molina's gone. So he's gone to Atletico. They're going to finalize that. Again, we started talking about that, and I think saying Juventus was never in on the player was probably not true in what the reports we were getting. I think they just never made an offer because I think they knew what Udinese was asking, and Juve was half for their valuation of the player. They were at like 15 mil, and Udinese was at 30. So I don't think anything was actually ever presented. Udoji, I would not even get our hopes up, to be honest, Juventini. Nope. Sadly, sorry. I don't see it happen.
Udinese said flat out, we're not selling this year.
So let's get into this Mercato as a whole overall and all, your guys' feelings and whatnot, because there has been a shift this week where it's been a little bit more pessimistic, a little more negative, and that's because Koulibaly's obviously now going. Okay, he's got his deal. He found his deal with Chelsea. You've got Bremer that is still linked with Inter. However, Inter does not have anything with Torino. They're keeping our hopes up with this Bremer thing. Pau Torres has all of a sudden entered the mix with a lot of hype behind his name. Honestly, we're still in the driver's seat with De Ligt. So I'm not super fired up or concerned about that, to be honest. And people are talking about, what if we got Bremer and De Ligt decides to stay? We're not getting Bremer if De Ligt doesn't leave. And I think this is one of the things with the Mercato I can honestly say, because Anth asked the question earlier about how do we feel about the news and what's coming out and whatnot. Honestly, the more I start to think about it, I think the numbers that we've been given or heard in reports, I think it's actually a lot less than what we think. I think money's much tighter, and I don't think we have a 70 to 80 million euro budget, to be honest, that was reported almost at the start of the Mercato. I think it's actually less. And I think without outgoings, I don't think we're going to see much happening, to be honest, unless we see some outgoings. What do you guys how do you guys feel so far, and what do you guys think?
I'd like to hope that you're wrong, but it makes sense because like 15 or 20 million for Kostic. If we had that 80 million, that would have been done. Like, I don't even know. So I think everything someone put in here, I'd like to give people credit when they say something good. I think someone put in here, if you could find it out, that everything's just on hold. I think it was it's up a bit. Everything's on hold because of De Ligt.
Yeah.
Right. If that money doesn't come in, I think they're really gonna have to focus on one player or like one signing. I think that signing is going to be Zaniolo. So I think everything's on hold. The Kostic, like Maximus right here, just said this as well. You and I were talking about this before the show. What happened with this? I haven't heard anything. I don't know, Omer or Al, if you've heard anything, but I think this is what, to Al's point, I don't think all the funds are there that we think are there. And it's just going to be one domino at a time, and they're going to take it one step at a time, which we did the opposite in the past and got us into these terrible deals.
Yeah, Kostic is being rumored for renewal now and whatnot, but the more now, I think we could say Kostic was probably a fallback on Di Maria if Di Maria did not say yes. I would have to feel that way after all this. Omer, what do you think?
I think that the availability of Zaniolo kind of shifted things around a bit, and I don't know. It seems like a domino effect, and just waiting for the leaked sale, and then I believe there'll be like 3 more signings, and focus on outgoing. Obviously, Ramsey will be cut out, and that was the last report. And then you just need to start dealing with the outgoings, because then you have funds and you know what you can do. But now everything is leaning on that the league deal, and you were leaving for the tour on like the 20th, and they need things to get done before that. Because they want to fly with everyone and not leave anyone behind. So I'm expecting a lot of movement in the next week or so.
Yeah, I think the outgoings is the biggest thing right now, and that's what's leading me to think that this transfer budget is not what we thought. And I think it's these outgoings. You can't move Artur unless it's a swap. Nobody wants Artur. Nobody's interested. This Zaniolo thing been heavily reported. It's become loan plus obligation. They want no players. They're not interested. If we have outgoings, it's going to be guys we don't want to move. It's going to be McKennie. It's going to be Zakaria. The guys that we're planning on moving, I think it's very, very difficult. Maybe, just maybe, Rabiot can find a deal as he came on a free, and there's not much there. In terms of what we need, it would just all be capital, but it's tough. Midfield, I don't see another addition unless somebody leaves, and that doesn't include Ramsey, because Ramsey's contract's just going to be bought out. You also have the 3 youngsters that are battling, and somebody's going to get integrated between Fagioli, Miretti, and Rovella. That's the most intriguing part right now for me, is seeing what happens with those guys.
I got a quick question for y'all before we switch to the young guys, because I know Rovella High is going to come out here and start swarming the shit out of the place. Do we agree that the De Ligt deal is not in any way linked to Zaniolo? Those are 2 separate. Like, Zaniolo is its own deal. I don't think that's.
I would assume if it's going to be a loan plus obligation, you're responsible for 10 million this season, and then you can deal the 30 next. With contracts that expire, you're almost there in salary, for God's sake. So it's, I can't see. And that's another reason why I'm not so sure like that the funds are as much as we believe, because if you're going to go out there and you have terms with Zaniolo, okay. And we saw Zaniolo hold himself up on his own accord for 2 matches. Finally, he said, enough's enough. Like, he's played couple days ago, and everybody was losing it on Twitter when I put a post like, look, this guy shut himself down for a couple matches. They're like, he just played yesterday and scored. I'm like, listen, like, read. He shut himself down for 2 matches prior to that. There was no renewal. He shut everything down. Now all of a sudden things are creeping up that he could stay at Roma and whatnot, and I just don't understand this from a Juve standpoint. And that's why I think the money is way tighter than we actually think, because a 10 million loan this season, obligated to purchase for even say 40 next season. I just don't see how, if you have terms with a player, that doesn't get done this season.
Yeah.
Like,
they're really
I
slow
can't
rolling
see
this
that.
one. They're really, really slow rolling this one. And it's the
now everybody
kind of situation all over again.
Juve's trying to wait for Roma to crack, because without that renewal, they're in the same spot we are in with De Ligt. Okay. He's got a final year after this one, and then he's final contract year. So they're waiting for Roma to crack, because right now this is the only spot they have leverage in. But as it gets further and further on, that leverage starts to fade. And then that fear of not maximizing the amount that they can get for him starts to settle in. It's the exact same spot. When you're in that 2-year window and there's no renewal, that's when you have to maximize what you get out of a player if it's going to be moving on, right? Without a renewal. There are rumors, De Ligt, and a potential renewal for Juventus. It's saying Juve is pushing to convince him to stay, get that 1 extra year renewal, lower the release clause, to around 90 million. I like it. I think it's a way better scenario than trying to get forced into it this year, because we clearly won't have the replacements. And it would be a negative spin on the positives that have happened so far in gaining, Pogba, Di Maria and whatnot. What do you guys think?
Omer?
Yeah, you go ahead first.
Yeah, I fully agree with that one, Al. Like, Juventus completely in the driver's seat. Now, obviously, none of us would want to see let go, because the backup is that's who our backup is. So, and listen, kids, Bremer's not coming. As much as there's news floating around today, I know Agresti was putting stuff out there, not in the sense that Juve is going to actually sign him, but it's kind of like giving us hope. There is no hope with Bremer. He's gone. The same with Koulibaly. They're both gone. We're gonna have to see what we have in Gatti as a backup. I'm not getting my hopes up over that. I know Big Lou in our team. He's already loving that guy like something fierce. So, not the time to move him, but 100 million euros. Well, that can go a long way to ease a lot of people's pain. But with no backup, I guess you can reinforce in other areas with that money, but there's no center backs on the market. None.
Yeah,
No,
well, you're
there are
spending a
center backs in the
good
market.
chunk of that on Pau Torres. If the rumors are in fact true, if they're even true, that Pau Torres gave his okay to a move to Juve, you're still spending 50 to 60 right there, right out of the gate, right? So
Right.
that's pretty much the capital that would come from the De Ligt sale.
All of it.
Yeah, that capital is wiped out on the one guy. But Omer, what do you think?
I know the Zaniolo and the Ligt case seem pretty similar to me. Like you said, it's like the same case with the club, and they want to maximize what they can. I don't know. I still believe that the Ligt will stay. That it wouldn't be an agreement, and Juve won't be pushed into like this 60, 70 million thing that Byron offered. And if like in the next week or two they couldn't find an agreement, and pieces need to start moving, then I believe he'll stay one more season. It's fine. It has happened last year twice. I can remember 2 occasions. Harry Kane wanted to move to Man City, Tottenham didn't accept, and now he wants to stay. It's a great club for him, and they had a great season. Same goes for Jules Koundé with Chelsea, and they stay. They can sulk a bit that they didn't get the move they want, but in the end, they are paid millions, and they are professionals, and they will perform for the club they're playing at. And he can wait it out another season. It's not like it's his prime and he's losing years here. Like, there's no wrong for the Ligt in staying another year and then going to Bayern. And I 50% see that scenario happening.
Do you think this will kind of sully the view of De Ligt with fans? Like, would this? I'll just say, I won't say all fans. I'll say you two. If De Ligt ends up staying, knowing that he had agreement in terms with Bayern, does this change how you look at the kid this season if he stays? For me, he's still our best defender.
That's a great question. So that came up. That's come up a lot. That's come up a lot on the daily stuff and the comments and stuff too on our news updates. It's like we have to be honest with ourselves too, and Juve's current project and everything. And a part of me is frustrated with the kid because he's finally gotten to the point where he's the guy for us, with Chiellini leaving and whatnot, and he could finally cement himself as that guy, that next wave, that next leader and whatnot. And at the same time, we can't deny where Bayern stands with their current project and say that if we weren't in his shoes, we wouldn't be tempted to take, your game there with someone that's established, with someone that's a contender year in, year out across Europe. So it's very, very hard to say that. So I don't necessarily have anything really against De Ligt, to be honest. I don't. It is what it is. I honestly, it's funny. You could see the tweets back on the All Juve cast account when it wasn't a team effort and I was just running it. I said 3 years. I said probably 3 years this kid's around, and then he goes. And that's honestly, unless we had ourselves established and we were, still dominating domestically and in that mix in Europe, it'd be a different story. But right now, I think it'd be hard for us to keep any of those guys. Like if Haaland had come when everybody was dreaming about him and stuff like that, that might have been the same situation. It's really, really difficult. Not only that, you're at that 2-year mark on the contract. So if we extend him and lower that to 90 mil, that's actually a really, really good scenario for Juventus. And if we have to sell this season, God, I just hope we can land, at the very least, Pau Torres. Because outside of the Bremer, Pau Torres, Koulibaly names, there's a big drop-off for somebody to step in there and be one of the guys for a season, in my personal opinion.
I want to say something about it because there is another name. Gabriel, the Arsenal defender name, has been
but not for a top 2 for me for a whole season.
Wait, I think we're giving it the same attention that the PL fans give Serie A, and it gets us all riled up. Because how many of us have seriously watched this guy play in Arsenal this season to really evaluate him? Now, from what I was asking around from people who do love the Premier League and watch it a lot, they say he's steady. He's a great defender. He's physical. He's at the right age. He's tall. He has ball playing ability. He's a left-sided. Like, it's not that a bad option. You should watch him more, to make a call. It can be like, I don't know, it can be like a surprise. We evidently go after him because the rest are just too expensive, and it turns out to be a good signing. He isn't a bad player just because he plays for Arsenal. That's
I watched Arsenal a fair amount. I don't know why, but I did. He doesn't strike me as a guy that he doesn't excite me. His name did not excite me out of all the mix. Even when there was the Arthur swap, whatever that was rumored, he just doesn't excite me. Kimpembe doesn't even excite me. As some are saying, Kimpembe could be one of those names, one of those mix. Doesn't excite me, man. The other names outside of those 3 don't actually excite me for one of the top 2 guys. If he came in, I'd be behind him 1,000% and hope he proves me wrong. But Gabriel's not a name that excites me. Not for one of the top 2.
It's not exciting, but it gets discredited because, I don't know, it's just not a hot name. But in truth, I can see why the league wants to leave. Like you said, Bayern is a functioning project. And how many players out there today have came into one of the top clubs at 19 or 20 and stayed there for their entire career? Like, basically none. Everyone shifts around, and we knew the league was kind of depending on how good we will do. Couldn't predict COVID, obviously. We had Ronaldo back then, who was the main attraction for players. But in reality, we knew it isn't going to be like a 10-year relationship with the league.
Yeah, exactly. And it might as well state that these meetings with Pau Torres that have been reported, whatever, awful sources, weak sources. The latest one with Juve approaching Gabriel, who we're talking about, weak sources. So take everything with a grain of salt. I want to remind everybody right now, take a second, like the video. If you're new here, subscribe to the channel, all right, as we continue to grow the AJC Army. This live chat's absolute fire today, and might as well get to storm the barn. And you guys have questions, okay, and there's something you want to hear about that we might not have hit on just yet, drop your questions now and start getting in there. Tom Snipes coming in here. Nice shirt out. You know what? Underrated tee from Adidas and Juventus. Not bad. I think I like Ants better, though, from Striped Hearts Apparel there. Check out stripedheartsapparel.com. He's got the Vlahovic tee on. I just love that thing, man.
This thing, sick. I'd wear this to a wedding.
Black and white. All right. So why are we giving up on Bremer? So we might as well get into Bremer. All right. So here's the thing. When it comes to Bremer, it's always been the same. And since the get-go with Bremer, and he's got terms agreed with Inter. Inter has yet to finalize anything with Torino. It's being reported, the latest is that Inter's looking to lock this thing up within the next couple days because they're starting to feel pressure from Juve, who is making a push. The latest rumor says that Juventus is offering more than what Inter has, which I find funny because it's never been reported what Inter has even actually offered Torino. So you've only heard loose
I heard 30
reports when it comes to numbers. But
I heard 30, 35 million, but that seems low.
Yeah, it's kind of all over the place because again, you have to take all that with a grain of salt. But Bremer, I don't see us getting after Bremer again, factoring in all the other stuff we just kind of tackled. I think the funds are much tighter than we're led on to believe. If De Ligt does not go, Bremer, get him out of your head, Juventini. It ain't happening. Like I would love to be wrong about this because I would do laps around my street with excitement if we could land Bremer while having De Ligt around. I don't see it.
Yeah, this Bremer situation is turning into, like, for you, Juventini fan, from what I can see, is like they're turning into like peeping toms. Like, stop looking in the window of Bremer's bedroom. Right, he's not coming. He's an Interista. He's not coming here. Like, it's getting weird. It's getting a little weird. You're looking like a weirdo. Don't.
Yeah, I can't see it happening because of our recent history with Torino. Like they wanted to renew Mandragora, and we insisted on 2 million more. Eventually sold him to Fiorentina. We stole Gatti right under their noses, like over dinner. And I don't think they'll drop the deal with Inter because we offer 5 million more, 10 million more. This is our city rivals. Like, it just doesn't make sense. Bremer has been rumored since, I don't know, December, January, to already agreed everything with Inter. They're haggling on the price. Eventually, they'll find their formula, and he'll be an Inter player. I can't see him making it to Juve.
He has terms with Inter. From all I've seen, he has terms with Inter. So
it's the same case with the league. They're waiting to sell Skriniar to Paris Saint-Germain to have funds available, and once that happens, they'll close it in a minute. So if there's any chance we do sign him, we have to sell De Ligt before they sell Skriniar. That's how I see it.
And if we sign Bremer, we're not signing Zaniolo.
Yeah.
So it's not happening.
No, that might work out with the loan obligation thing.
I stand behind. There's no way Bremer comes without De Ligt leaving. There's no way. There's no way. YFG saying, am I the only Juve fan who realized that Bremer has only had one good season and he plays any back three? Juventus play a back four and Bremer is kind of reckless. Well, Chiellini, Bonucci, Barzagli all played in a back three as well, and then they played quite well in a back four as well. So I don't really know. Bremer's highly touted, man. All I remember is how he shut down key guys. Again, he's playing with Torino too. So I mean, Jesus, back three, back four, back five, back seven, whatever. It's Torino, and they stink, in the words of Anthony there. And no, he's impressed me based on his man-to-man defense of some of the top guys. We don't have to look any further because we saw what he did to Vlahovic when he was with Juve, and not only that, when he was with Fiorentina twice. He's pretty solid. The reckless stuff, man. Center backs, time. They get better. They're like, center backs are like wine, everybody. Okay, better with age, better with experience, and stuff like that. That's why with the whole Demiral thing too, I never really jumped on the whole reckless thing. Like, everybody was giving it to him all the time. It's like, and that comes better, and they get more polished and they get cleaner. But now looking back at Juve's situation, I think the biggest, you could say, blunder, whatnot, was Romero, to be honest. I think that one's the one that's going to sting. But again, we got caught in this moment, and Chiellini and Bonucci were still going strong. Even if you look back to this past season, and Demiral was a guy fighting for minutes, wanted that. But Chiellini was still around. And, could you imagine the reactions if Juve said, yeah, you know what, we're going to go with Demiral, Chiellini, we're cutting you out. And he wasn't ready to leave on his own accord. Could you imagine?
They would have burned the stadium down.
Exactly. So it's just one of those things. It is what happens. But Bremer, I'm not getting hopes up. If we get Kostic Zaniolo, Will we play a 4-2-3-1 with Pogba and Locatelli as a pivot? So we could take Kostic and even Zaniolo out of this equation right now, because some of the reports out of these training sessions are that Juve is going to be predominantly 4-3-3 this season, is what all the reports suggest so far. A 4-2-3-1, though, is said to be not out of the question with Pogba and Locatelli as the pivots. I want to ask you guys how you feel about that. If we go 4-2-3-1, can you see Pogba and Locatelli working as pivots? We're going to kick this one off with Omer.
I actually don't know. I believe it can work out in certain scenarios against certain teams and where they play, not, as a lineup to run with, mainly because we have tons of other midfielders that need to play. But against, mid-table teams, it could definitely work out. I didn't expect Pjanic and Khedira to complement each other. They're both very slow. Pjanic is not that defensive, and it worked out perfectly for like 2 seasons. So it can work out, but it needs, a bit of work and a bit of training. I don't know what to expect from Pogba right now when he's coming in, what type of player he is today. So I can't make the real judgment call on that.
Yeah, I remember, I'm taking this from what Juventus fans are saying, and they're not reliable whatsoever. But a lot of people are saying this. Pogba can't play the pivot. So I'll throw that back on you two. I'm gonna ask you two the question. Can he play the pivot, 1 and 2? Who are the 3? I think that, more importantly for me, who are the 3 ahead of those 2 that would start?
Yeah. So the thing with Pogba as a pivot, your natural instinct is to say no. And I think that's correct in terms of what his best position is. Because I think best we would all say, that slightly advanced left side of a midfield with 3. However, you could see the temptation for seeing him in a pivot role based on how Deschamps has used him sometimes in the midfield for France, because there's been many, many occasions where he's dropped Pogba right back and used him as just ahead of the defense. And he's kind of played that deep lying role. And, that could be the argument for some of the fans that want to see that 4-2-3-1 and think that he and Locatelli could do it. My personal opinion, with this Juventus and what we're probably going to have across the back, I want the stability and security of a midfield 3. But I can see why some people would think Pogba and Loca in the pivot. But for me, 3-man midfield all day. Kind of goes into Lorenzo saying, who is your starting midfield 3 if we say 3? So let's go with that, guys. And now we'll ask you guys this question. What's your midfield 3 for Juventus, assuming we go 4-3-3?
Opening day? Opening day is going to be Di Maria. No. The opening day is going to be Zakaria. Damn. I don't know. Pogba's going to be in there. He's going to be.
Pogba and Loca are locks.
They're going to be locked. It's that third one.
And I think it's Loca, Zakaria, Pogba. Just, I don't know where Zakaria would play or Locatelli would play. Like, Pogba's position is locked.
Weston was flying high before that ankle injury, though. So
I think it's Weston or Zakaria on that opposite side of Pogba, and Locatelli right in the heart of that midfield. And I think that's your go-to mid-3s. That's going to be the go-to, in my personal opinion. I'd have that one spot between McKennie and Zakaria, but
let's not forget Rabiot came into training as one of the most fit players, and he played a lot of minutes last year under Allegri. He could be seeing a lot of minutes this year. I'm sorry, Lou. I'm sorry, guys. I still don't see him getting sold. I think Rabiot is going to be a Juventus player this year. This is his last year of his contract, right?
We always doubted it. I believe it is his last year, contract year. But yeah, it's
he's not going anywhere.
No, I don't think so. Dell's coming in here with saying he'd rather sign Kostic over Zaniolo. For fun, let's see this one. Omer, would you rather sign Kostic or Zaniolo?
Zaniolo. I don't know why. I don't have a main reason for it. It's
Okay.
just yeah,
That's
I
all
just
right.
want to see like some sort of Italian core at Juve. I like the prospect of Zaniolo with Chiesa. Hopefully, they both stay healthy. But I wouldn't be mad if we go for Kostic instead. It's an interesting option, maybe more experienced a bit.
Yeah.
With age and stuff. I don't know.
I wanted both. And I think I could understand wanting Kostic more over Zaniolo, and for simply the fact of simplicity, because does Zaniolo get us back into that number 10 type trouble and what we had with the Dybala a little bit in terms of positioning? I don't think he does if you put the right fullback with him and supporting him, but I could see the Kostic thing just being a lot more simplistic. But honestly, I'd be pumped with either one of them, to be honest. And
I haven't seen Kostic play enough, but my understanding is that he's more of a like a pure winger than Zaniolo is. Zaniolo, to Omer's point, Al, to your point, like Zaniolo can cause a bit of problems on where you sort of fit him in. We saw that with the national team. With Roma, they make it work, but especially with the national team, like where does he kind of fit? But Kostic is like you pick him up here and you put him in there, and that left side is right side. It's the left side. Help me out again. Kostic?
Left.
Kostic
left. That's where he is. Like that's his lane. So I think it's an easier plug and play with Kostic, but I'll take both. I'm okay with both of them.
Yeah. YFG. Come on, guys. Rabiot and Pogba both play on the right. Rabiot played on the right side as well in a few scenarios. He could play both, and you can argue what side he's better on. I hate this left foot, left side business that we fall trapped to and victim to at Juventus all the time. I don't really believe in it, to be honest. Sure, maybe at fullback position, you can go that route, and I'm cool with it. But across the midfield, not as big a factor. Rabiot, actually, if you look back to that banger he scored, one of the bangers, he's only scored probably 2 bangers, one against Lazio, one against Milan. That Milan one was on the right side of the midfield, running in on his strong
And if anyone
foot.
ever wants to see it again, Lou DeVito in our group will bring up the video for you. He will show you.
Yeah. So, we talked about all this stuff with the Mercato right now and where we sit, and it's just there's a lot going on and not enough action. And that's why it's easy to fall into this
lull.
Yeah, this lull, and people are getting a little more pessimistic now about the Mercato. But honestly, I think comes down to the finances, everybody. I think it's tighter than what we think. We have to see what's going to develop. And I don't know. How many more moves do you realistically think are going to happen? Like, let's start out with De Ligt. Do you see De Ligt sold? Will Bayern step up? We saw that Lewandowski deal is finalized. Okay, with Lua going to Barca. Is that the final piece? Does Bayern step up and take De Ligt this summer?
I said it was like 50-50 for me. I like a week ago, it has been, 90-10. But I think it's kind of 50-50. Bayern won't haggle around too much. If they see De Ligt is not in their budget, they'll turn to some other target.
Yeah.
And wait it out another year.
Salihamidzic, he flew there to make a 65 million euro offer. Like,
well, that's why they can't make high offers. They're flying this guy all over the place for these low ball offers.
God bless
it all
him.
On travel.
God bless him. But I don't see that gap from 65 to 90 happening in another meeting. So I'm with Omer. I was 90% last week, but I'm probably 40% chance he leaves now. I don't see how you bridge that gap. That's a lot. That's a lot of
Bayern might not pony up exactly where we go. Is Juve gonna budge? I can't see that either. I cannot see, Cherubini and Arriva Bene budging on that number that they want to see. So I can't see it. Can't see it. So I don't really know. Without that sale, how many moves do we realistically expect will take place? And this is another thing. This is why I said this in probably 2 update videos ago. No, I think it was yesterday's. I just said, look, if you're Juventus, you need to tell Bayern, look, this is the number. There are no negotiations. Like, hit it or we're done, because we have to move on. Because if they have moves that are in fact pending based on this deal going through, Juve needs to know that, and they need to figure it out quickly. They can't just wait and then Bayern comes in 2 weeks down the road and it's like, oh yeah, we'll do this price. It's like, no, hey, if you want him, this is the number. Are you willing to pay it? No? Okay, talks are done.
I believe there's a lot of goodwill between these two clubs. We've done a lot of deals in the past, so I don't think they're really gonna. I agree that there's a
Marotta
number
when he was here because we were so quick to sell.
Yeah, I don't think they're. I think they're gonna. This one's gonna be a slow roll, a little bit more. But I don't think. I don't think Adiva Ben is gonna drop that number. It's gonna be 90 million.
Yeah,
but Bayern's gonna play the game.
Can't produce any other moves because the finances are that tight. You need to figure it out whether he's leaving or not.
Sure.
Like it's just one of those things. In terms of Chiesa, latest updates on Chiesa. He won't be with the American tour. Okay, so he's not going to be traveling with the team on the U.S. tour. Still going to be getting back there. I think we'll see him before the World Cup break. Not a lot of them, but I think we'll see him before that World Cup break. But then I would probably anticipate they hit that last bit of training hard during that World Cup for him, and for him to come out, full go after that. But I think we'll see him before that.
He's not going to be. I know there's the theories out there, like especially in North America, like an ACL recovery is 7 to 8 months, but I just don't see them rushing him back. That World Cup, if that World Cup wasn't happening in November, I would see him starting regularly by November. But with the first game's August 15th or 16th, that's 4-8. You have 8 games ish before the World Cup. I think he'll play, but I don't think you're going to see 90 minutes from him before the World Cup.
Yeah. Omer?
Yeah. The fact Italy didn't qualify actually kind of serves us in this manner, in my opinion, because they would have rushed him to play for Italy in the World Cup, and maybe if they'll see that things go well up until the World Cup, and then you have like a month plus break, then there's no point in rushing him if he is going to play a couple of games and then sit out another month and just wait it out until the World Cup.
It's 2 months. Over. Players will be out for almost, so it's all November, and you get the December
up until
break,
Christmas, and
pretty much, yeah,
and that's important. If there's no need to rush him and is going to sit it out for 2 more months, then wait it out, and it kind of opens the door for some Sule or Ake or these type of fellas to play their part and show they were something. So they said January. The most reliable report said January. I'm sticking to those for the moment, but depends on Chiesa and his recovery and work on himself.
He's ahead of schedule in the recovery terms.
Yeah,
he was running much quicker than anticipated. I don't expect 90s before World Cup break, but I expect to see him making cameos for sure. Farid says cameos of Chiesa is still better than full 90s of most players. Yeah, fair enough. Will the friendlies be streamed? The last time Juventus was on a U.S. tour, they actually were televised matches. So I would imagine you'll be able to find those streams. And Bernardeschi finding a team. Toronto, joining Toronto FC. So Berna finding a team before Dybala. Dybala heading to Roma, I guess. So we'll see.
Discount Jovinko.
We'll see. Juve can't wait for the right price. If De Ligt doesn't renew, the price will drop to 30-40. Then we only have 1 year left on it. See, this is where it will not drop to 30-40. we'll be forced to make a move that at a price we don't like, but 30, 40, I don't see it
It'll
dropping
be in the 50,
that
60
low.
range.
Yeah, I would expect the 50, 60 range, which at that particular year still gives us 30 to 40 in capital on his final season. So 30, 40, I mean, maybe we'll have to see how Cherubini and Arrivabene navigate this, but the pressure would be on if Bayern doesn't step up for Juve to get one more year renewal with a slightly lower release cost.
If that renewal happens, if we get him renewed, extended, and lower the release clause to 80 million, someone will pay the 80 million next year or the year after. So,
yeah, well, that's what we're asking now. So it's like, it is what it is. One way or another, Juve's pushing for that number. And it'll be interesting to see what De Ligt does. I think a lot of fans' frustrations, too, are the fact that Juve's making those strides, bringing in Pogba, bringing in Di Maria and whatnot, and, trying to get this thing going, and then him just not being pumped on the project. Like Zakaria came in January, Vlahovic came in January, and it's like, you're making this push. The team's obviously trying to advance, and is it the right time for him to go? And that's like the question I see a lot of in comments to videos here on YouTube is just like, why now? Why now? Does anybody else have this feeling that there's more to it than just the performance stuff? With De Ligt wanting to leave and asking to leave?
I just think he's Bayern's competing for 4 trophies every year, right? I think that taste he had in Champions League with Ajax is something that's, he's lost that taste. He wants to get that back. Bayern's making it to the quarterfinals, semifinals every year of Champions League. I think that's probably the biggest one. Is he wants those big lights again, and Juventus just hasn't been able to provide that. But he, like you said, man, it's a business, and he's looking at that next stage. And I do believe that some of the rumors of him seeing the project and where it's going with Juventus might be changing his mind, because all his fans can see the trajectory of this project. Like it's only going one way, and that's up. But is it going up fast enough for him? I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know.
Again, at the end of the day, Juventus will be here. Players come and go, man. But Juventus is going to be here. So
yeah, we've got another story in the market. A 4-3-3. Wow, full lineup here. Tech, Pellegrini, Pau Torres, Gatti, Danilo, Zakaria, Locatelli, Pogba, Di Maria, Vlahovic, and Morata. Chiesa when he returns. Can that team win Serie A?
Look, if you showed me Milan's team last year and asked me if they can win the league, I would have said no, but they obviously can. Yeah. Even that 2011, 2012 Conte team, I didn't believe could win the Serie A, but they did. So sometimes it's surprising. It just depends on a lot of factors. It's not just placing the right players at the right positions, and it all works out. It depends on the coach, on some draws on Champions League, and everything around player development. Like, we didn't expect Chiesa to explode the way he did in Pirlo's season, and that season could have gone a lot worse without him. So it's a prediction we can't make because there are too many unknowns in this new Juve. A lot of the old core left, Bernardeschi, Dybala, and a lot of new players are coming in. And it's like the busiest Mercato in years. You are going to trade 10 new faces, with guys leaving and guys coming in, a lot of youngsters making their way into the team. Like, it feels like only Pogba and Di Maria have signed, but in truth, you see the training videos and there's tons of new faces there. And some will stay, some will go, but can't make that prediction yet. Not based on. I'm going to
answer this really simple way. I don't see why they couldn't win Serie A. So, yeah.
And with Morata, anything is possible. Anything is possible.
I guess we'll get into Morata. We got a good one here. Do you see Morata back at Juve next season?
I do.
We sent partner as well as backup, as he has proven last year. So it's all going to come down to what Atletico is going to want and whatnot. But honestly, I mean, it's rumored Allegri's pushing for him. That was always rumored that he's pushing for him. But I don't know. Is it the best? I mean, right now, I don't hear any other names other than Arnautovic, and Arnautovic is apparently being held back by Bologna, so
Bologna said no deal.
not interested in seeing him go. So I haven't heard any other names, and lot of the other names were pretty.
There's still the question of Keane. Keane is kind of stuck there.
Moise Keane, it's always been the same. You have to find a team and you have to find a deal. There's been nothing other than PSG is interested in getting him back, and like those lower side Premier sides that you hear interest from. I highly doubt Moise Keane would go back to the Premier League after his short experience there.
If he isn't leaving, I don't see anyone coming back.
And then we're obligated to purchase him. Moise Keane could become a problem for Juventus, or he could have a strong season this year and really flip the script. The positive is that he's getting nothing but high praise so far at the training sessions early on, based on the condition he's shown up in, which is great. And that's big for a guy that, the same as Zaniolo, had a lot of concerns and criticisms about professionalism, especially with like Azzurri scenarios and stuff. But it's good to at least hear that from him, because we need a good season from him. If he shits the bed again this year, that's a tough scenario for Juve, because they're obligated to purchase at the end of the season.
For 28 million.
So
38, I think.
No, so the deal was so the total deal was the whole deal was 38, but it was a loan fee of 7 million, and then with bonuses the deal would be 38. But at the end of the day, the obligation without the bonuses at the end of his contract, which would be the end of this upcoming season, would be an obligation of 28 million.
Anyway, if he isn't leaving, I don't see any backup striker coming in.
And I agree with that. I'd agree with that. Yeah,
it could turn out to be a good scenario. It could,
or he could turn out to be tits like he was last year, where he couldn't control the ball.
He could either pick his shit up and start performing and being a professional and stop being a little kid, or he can do the same thing he did last season, and then we're stuck with him. It's up to him.
Without Morata in the lineup, there's no excuse. Like, he'll get his playing time, right? He's not playing third fiddle anymore. So,
I don't really...
we need him to play well. We do. If Morata's not here, or we don't purchase that backup striker, we need him to play well.
It's really hard too when you're gauging, because last season was, man, just the overall way we played was awful. A mess, to be quite honest, and it does not suit a guy like Moise Keane. That game is not his game. When you're talking about touch and being that like pivot guy, and it's not it. Tried playing him off the side, but we didn't even play away in a manner with true wingers, and the press was non-existent because of the shift that we were having out of the middle. It was strange by all accounts. So when we even look at that lineup, can this lineup win Serie A? It really comes down to the schemes, the setup, how these players are used, the roles that they're put in, and putting it all together. Max is going to have it on him this season. Is the roster going to be a drastic enough change to be able to put all that weight on Max? Is he going to have a short leash? I think he should be on a short leash no matter what. How do you guys feel about that one?
I have him on a short leash, and I said this publicly. You can go back and check the tapes. I'm a pro Max guy. Me and you were pro Max guys last year. But come December, come like World Cup time, they better turn this thing around. Now, how do I ask this question? With or without Zaniolo? Without Zaniolo, is this team better than last year right now? De Ligt in the lineup.
Yeah, 100%.
Is it drastically better, Omer, or just a little bit? Like, would you expect, like, now there's absolutely no excuses for Max, because this team is X% better in my eyes than last year?
With Chiesa in the lineup and Di Maria up there with Vlahovic, that front three is better than anything we could have produced last season, in my personal opinion. Yeah. In the middle of the pitch, adding Pogba makes our midfield much better than it was last season. At the back, if De Ligt stays, we're on par with where we were last season.
Yeah, but I believe a lot of the defenses we had last season were due to a bad midfield. I don't think Kalulu and Tomori are that good, but they have a great midfield in front of them, so they barely have to deal with anything. So it kind of affects it, and it kind of revolves around injuries. On paper, we had a fine team last season, at least attacking wise, but we found out none of them were available in long periods of the season. So if you take Di Maria out because he's injured suddenly, then what are your options now with Chiesa out and Di Maria? Who is playing?
Yeah, well, that's just it, right?
Injuries is the main thing that derailed us in the
that
past
did kill us
couple
last
of
year. Yeah,
seasons.
But
but
Kostic, like that's another reason I can't get over why certain deals haven't been done. How tight could we possibly be that you can't make a 15 million euro move or even a 20 million move for a guy like Kostic that gives you great depth? You know, because these rosters that are being drawn up with Sule and Ake both in there, don't see it. See one of them. I see Sule probably part of the team next season. That's it.
And with the outgoing salaries, there's really no excuse why we couldn't make that. A double reason why we couldn't make that Kostic deal, because like we've offloaded so many salaries that.
And the midfield. So Pogba, Locatelli, Zakaria, McKennie, Rabiot, Artur, Fagioli, Rovella, Miretti. Like, there's got to be decisions made there. Okay, so like 8, you're at 8 midfielders there. So decisions have to be made, and it's very, very interesting. There was a comment earlier back in the live chat there that said, do you give these guys like Keane and my apologies because the live's been on fire today, so it's a ways back there. I can't just find it, but so whoever did it, I apologize. But Keane and Artur, do you give these guys a shot this season? You know, it was a question along that lines. Look, Juve, as far as Keane goes, you have to try, and you have to, at the bare minimum, have to give this guy an opportunity to bring up his value and get some type of interest if you're Juventus. And even if you're looking at keeping him, you have to give him those opportunities because you've got to find a way to get this guy involved for both scenarios. Whether you're going to keep him or you want to move him after next season and whatnot, you need this guy to get those opportunities. In terms of Artur is a tough one. He apparently wants to leave the club. Again, I said this during last season, when people were like, this Mercato, we got to move Artur. I said, don't get your hopes up unless it's a swap, because he stands the club way too much money. So he essentially stands us more than his actual value. That's what it comes down to. And good luck selling him. He has to get opportunities, whether we like it or not. He, right now, again, depending on what happens with these young guys and what they do, Fagioli, Rovella, Miretti, what ends up happening there, these are the only real guys that can cut into Artur's time, because one of those guys would have to become the second to Locatelli, in my personal opinion. However, Fagioli is the outsider on that one, because I can see Fagioli taking up a Mezzala role and actually helping the attack from that side position. But big question mark. Those are the 3 I'm very, very intrigued at seeing, especially in the U.S. tour, seeing those 3 guys and what they're going to bring and how they do on that tour, because it's going to be the biggest way to see insight as to who's going to be integrated. But the midfield's going to be questions. It's tough. You can't shut those guys down because you have to move them, right?
Yeah, I normally don't watch these U.S. tours or these tours, but this one's very interesting based on what you said there, 8 or 9 midfielders. I think this is the question you're looking for here right now.
That is it, yeah.
So thanks, Sarit, for that question. So again, Keane, as a Juventus fan, we need him. We need him to perform, especially if Morata's not coming back. Or like, I remember there was like Simeone was rumored to be on the purchase list, but I just, based on how how tight this club's being with the funds and the outgoing funds, I don't see the splashing for that second striker. So I see Keane staying, especially if he came in fit, ready to go. Man, Artur, I think he stands the club like 50 million. Like it's some wild number. Like there's no way we're gonna get that for him.
It's over. It's slightly over, man. It's close
Yeah.
to the 60 mark that he stands Juve.
But at least now, I think on the positive side, because I know Twitter's, it's a cesspool sometimes with the negative. But on the positive side, we're finally going to see, the three youngsters. Everyone wants to see these three guys battle out, Moretti, Fagioli, and Rovella, and who's going to stick around. And there was a comment earlier about not giving the young players a chance. I think they're gonna get a chance, especially in this U.S. tour. They're gonna get a lot of minutes, and they're gonna be able to show Allegri what they got.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see. So Bayern Munich expected start of this week make a higher offer for De Ligt. So let's all wait.
62 million.
See what 62. 62. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Everybody. Yeah, it's going to be a wild ride. There's still a month and a half of Mercato left, everybody. So things aren't going to get done and dusted and settled in a couple days. So everybody that's starting to kind of shift to a negative state, remain calm. Let's wait. Let's see what develops. Guys, let's finish up on these kits. Everybody knows kit collector. The away one, the black one, what do we think?
I like it.
Yeah, people have issues with the lightning bolts in the Jeep. I think it looks fine. I like how it's not busy. Like there's not like lines in blue and yellow or whatever. It's just a black shirt. I would have done maybe without the lightning bolts in the Jeep, but I haven't bought a jersey in a while because I have that the black Jeep 14-15, the one where they beat Celtic at Celtic Park.
That one's 12-13.
Yeah, so that's I got the Marchese on the back. That's really the only one I wear. But this one's nice. I would actually consider this one. It's actually right up there. I got something with the black. I think it's slimming. That's why I get them all the time.
I like the way kits look, from like the view above, like the game camera, basically. And because I don't usually wear them, and remember those one with like the glowing stick light numbers and logos? That special edition one. You have one like that, Al.
The orange?
The Palace?
Yeah, the one they played against Genoa. Ronaldo scored the winner.
Palace kit, yeah.
Yeah, like those look nice in person, but when you saw that from the view up there, it just you couldn't see any numbers or anything, so it kind of looked bad. And I like how the way kits look, from during game time, because I don't wear them just for fun. And
man, that Palace kit's like one of the best kits they've ever.
Yeah, and you couldn't appreciate it during a game.
Palace kit, man. What the hell?
Al has them. He has a Dybala one, I believe.
Al has a closet with 475 jerseys in it. He's gonna.
This one.
How the hell did you know that? Turn it around. Let me see the back. Oh,
Dybala, I knew it. I remember all about one.
Dybala.
Is it dirty or is it supposed to look like that? Did you wear that?
It's supposed to look like that.
Huh? Not dirty.
It's supposed to look like that.
Oh, okay. The top with like the smoky effect. I thought it was dirty.
It looks super cool, but it looked awful during game time because of the lighting. You couldn't see the number and the name.
Okay.
There's a closet
I like
with
the
100. I think I'm at 128.
Right, Tom? Like these two monkeys are talking about something. Al's like, oh, here, just let me go get it for you. It's right here. Al in the jersey. I'm just gonna put this out there. If anyone ever has a question about a jersey, Al is the guy because. Oh yeah, that's the 10-11, special edition kit. With the purple numbers.
And by the way, I took second place in Juventus official trivia on their official channel. So I have a bit of knowledge, and I should have won that.
Shoulda, coulda, woulda.
I crumbled under the pressure. I can ask you the question that derailed me. I should have won that. I knew all the questions, and the pressure got to me. I answered too fast.
That's okay. The only people you let down was all of us. Other than that,
I know.
You did
Al, because it was Al's birthday, and he asked me to win it for him. and I tried my
Yeah.
best. I almost
All
got
you
it.
did was give me another finals loss to add to these Juve ones, my man.
Dude, you're a Juve fan. Like I gave you the ultimate Juve experience, whether you like it or not.
It was fitting. It was fitting.
Losing
But yeah,
just
no,
to
I
kinda-
like that. I like that kit, the black one. The lightning bolts for me is like really the only thing. Not only that, but the Jeep, like they didn't actually take the letter openings and make them black. They've left them white, so it kind of looks weird to me. That's my only knock, and that's a small knock. That kit's nice. I like the away kit. There's a lot of fans that don't like it. The pattern, they don't like the pattern that's in the black section of the kit. I don't mind it at all. I think it's a nice kit. I think it's going to look sick. I have not made decisions on players to put on kits yet, and that's because I am running on a bit of a bad streak when it comes to picking the players. Oh man.
That's
Yeah,
why I
it's
don't do
not
it
good.
anymore.
So maybe I don't know. Well, actually, no, because even Chiesa got injured. I'm on a bad streak. I
You
might
like the
just get him
Madden
blank.
curse. You got like the
by
Madden curse.
Sandro.
Oh
By
yeah, but
Sandro.
then I got a kit with Sandro on. What the hell? No,
What can you do?
can't
you
do.
can sell
Can't
it
do. I
on
gotta. I
eBay
gotta be.
in a few years.
Yeah, this got to be really, really thought out there. Black and
Al,
gold
yeah.
kit 2015 is absolutely money. Okay,
Wow.
Yeah, that was a great one.
come on.
This
Yeah,
is
that's
unbelievable.
Any
That's
guesses? Any
iconic.
guesses on who's behind this one?
I'm going to say Pogba.
Hang on. Go ahead, Omer.
Pogba.
He said Pogba.
Or Morata. Morata.
I'm gonna go Morata. I'm gonna go one of those two. I'm gonna agree with Omer. Anyway, it's Rabiot.
Another Dybala.
Oh, it is Marquise.
Marquisio. Oh.
That is a
Like,
nice
this
kit.
kit is the bomb, man.
Yeah, that was a sick hit.
Like this is unbelievable. One of my
Yeah.
favorite-
Okay. So when your wife makes you get rid of all those for like pennies on the dollar for what you paid, I'm getting that one. Just gonna put
Buddy.
that out there.
These kits aren't going anywhere.
I wear that in my funeral. laying
So
in my
you think
casket.
Carabini and Riva Bene have a tough job? I got a hell of a job. I'm trying to negotiate more more closet space for the kits because I'm now on the top rack of the closet. The hangers are done; it's full. So now I'm on the shelf. So that's a tough negotiation. She's not too impressed, but we see 128 and counting. Working on the foe there, but that is one of the best. Let's finish up with this. Your absolute favorite kit. Was it one of those ones? Is it a different one? Anthony mentioned the 2012, 2013 black one. What's been your favorite kit so far, like all time? And is it because of a memory or is it just because of the aesthetics of the kit? Because sometimes memories can make a kit your favorite one.
Yeah, for me, it's only memories. Memories make kits. Absolutely. We had some great kits in the banter era that just have tons of bad memories. Like the gold one.
Dude, that gold, I got the gold one with Del Piero.
I have one with
because of the memories.
I have one with Diego, and I bought it early in the season, and it turned out to be awful. I never wear it. I have bad memories. As far as memories go, I love ugly shirts. I really do. And the pink one with the star, the
No, come on. In the best.
I love it.
In the
I love
best.
it.
Awesome.
No way.
It's not of course it's not the best, but it's a personal favorite of mine. That if you ask me a favorite kit, my mind goes straight to that. The 15-16 home kit was fantastic.
Yeah.
Like it was all stripes. Yeah, show us. It's like I'm walking in the Juventus museum.
We got a couple shouts for the 2012-13, and then we got a shout for the 2004 with the sky.
I can't believe he's just pulling these out. This is unbelievable. This is television, people. This is not planned, by the way. We're just sitting here like a couple of country bumpkins. Whoop. Yeah, that's the one I have with
2012-13. Let's think, and then long sleeve, eh?
Oh, you got the long
yeah.
sleeve too. Nice.
Oh yeah, but I have a short sleeve with Pogba.
With that Vucinic on the back.
And then the 2004 with the sky in the middle. This was
Who's
also
the first person you
there.
think of when you see that one? Omer.
This
the first
one,
player?
Nedved.
Yeah. That's a good jersey. Yeah.
Oh yeah, nobody on the back of this one. Nobody on the back of the long sleeve either. But I got a Pogba, also 2012-13, which is back in play, everybody.
Wait, give me
Hell
the
yeah, back in
2015-16.
But hey,
number 6.
2 stars. The other one had 3 stars. Remember that whole ordeal?
Yeah.
And then they had the Sul Campo. Oh yeah.
Come on.
Treinta Sul
I don't even
Campo,
have.
love it.
I don't even remember what I had for breakfast. I can remember which kits had stars.
Oh man.
For my jerseys, me being like the old prick that I am, I'm partial to those early 90 ones, like when I started watching when Budget was in there, the really baggy ass ones.
They totally are Animesh, sorted by year.
Yeah, I'm really partial to those. Like I like those older baggy ones. I don't know how the hell guys ran with those, but the one if I like really think of it like quickly, it'd be like the New Holland, anyone New Holland, or that Trezeguet one with the, with the red lettering.
Yeah.
So
I have a Nedved one. I have a Nedved.
That's
Nedved one.
4. What year is that? With the red
one?
07?
It's 2007-8. Back in Serie A after Serie B.
Yeah, the red lettering ones for some reason. Out of all the ones,
I have a Nedved one. The New Holland Fiat Group. I have a Nedved one, but I like those old kits. They're all the same size, like extra large. Everyone else extra large.
Like
no
parachute
matter size. Yeah, I like those. I don't know how you can play in those, but I like it.
So what do we got? We got the New Holland. This was red at the time with the red on the back. Cameronese when he was 8.
Yeah, I think that's the one I have there. But I have the Trezeguet one.
So we got that one. Then we have the yellow New Holland. This was beauty.
You know who's the first person that comes to mind when I see this one?
Krasic.
Olaf Melberg.
Oh, right.
And then we got the show for the 120 anniversary. This was spectacular.
Yeah.
Nice.
This was a great one. It was a bad game when we played with it, but it was a great one.
Yeah, but spectacular kit.
Was that the game that they played at Notts County? Would they wear that one for?
No, it was a league game, I think. Some of
game.
the Spezias of the league, and Quadrado won it in the last minute. But it was a pretty bad game. Yeah, but we celebrated 120. It was a bad game.
Here's some old school underrated kit. This blue Kappa, way back.
That's a bad one. Al, can you hide with your fingers the 2 heads on the Kappa logo?
Who's the first player? No.
Omer, stop
Who's the first player you think of when you see this old school?
Davids. Did Davids wear that one?
Davids did, yeah. He was one of the guys wearing this one.
Zidane.
Yeah. I actually got this one with a player I always wanted a kid of. Little unsung hero, old school guy, Pesotto. Always had love for Pesotto.
I heard his son is playing right now. Or was it Birindelli? No, it was Birindelli. His son is a good defender in Serie B or something like that. Birindelli's son, not Pesotto.
We got time for one more, maybe. 2004 red with the Italian stripes. It's not actually 2004.
It's 2006.
It's not actually 2004. I think you mean 2006.
Yeah, Patrick Vieira.
Yeah. I think I have that one. Or did.
The ADP. I think this is the one you meant, Dels. 2006.
Yeah. Was there not one wasn't there a white one with it down the middle? Wasn't I think
that was 2009.
Yeah,
where it was down the middle, but
it
was white.
This one reminds me of Krasic and Quagliarella.
I saw Krasic play in Toronto, and the only good thing I ever see him do, he took a ball, it was a switch all the way across the field, and he took it on a dead run. There it is.
Yeah, this one.
There's the one.
Yeah.
But that one didn't come in red. That one was just white, I think.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's pretty much it for the kit show. That was good fun, though.
Yeah, that's a nice one. Nice.
I've been asked to do another photo of the kit there, but it's hard to find the space to lay out 128 kits right now, guys.
And the time.
Yeah. tried to do it once with the daughter, and she got bored about 7 kits into it, and she was like, I'm done. And then I just had to shut it down. So we'll see.
Can't blame
I'll
her.
find the time again. All right. Well, we finished off with kits. Yeah, I will work on that though. I got to get an updated photo. I have there's some gems in there way back too, like the old school ones. Kappa was the best. But we'll see. We'll see. Go to a gym and bring a scissor lift. Nice. Yeah. Got to find space.
yeah.
Maybe the backyard. Take it from the deck up top and just maybe that's the play.
You have a soccer field behind your house. You got plenty of room, you prick. Do it back there.
Yeah. We'll figure it out. And get it done. Guys,
Can wear them all at once, like Joey did on Friends.
just do a video reveal. Just keep
And just spit it up. That's gonna be great for a new kit. You know, if you ever get a new kit reveal, you have to wear all the
128
100.
kits?
120 kits is impossible to put on.
Yeah, you can at least try.
Yeah, you're right. It's
I
the
agree.
least I could do. I could at least try.
Let's see how many you can. Like, what's the number that can't be on that? What, like 68, 90?
It would be actually. I could do it with my daughter because she'd just be swimming in them. So I could just put 128 and just.
Yeah, and
Just
their
make
knees
sure
will
it's
hold
winter
the
time
weight.
and she's outside because she's going to sweat like
Look at
hell.
the demands here. Got to be in order.
Yeah.
Come on, Lorenzo. Take
If you're
it
gonna
easy.
do it, do it. Lorenzo's right. If you're gonna do it right.
So, like, what? The newest ones on the bottom layer and the oldest ones on the top?
Whichever way.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's a question I need
newest
answered.
ones
How
on the
many
bottom,
shirts
and
can you
oldest
wear?
on top. Old to new. And then the newest one is the one on the bottom, like the reveal.
Yeah, the black one.
all right.
The new one.
It's unbelievable.
You
Okay.
think you'll get to 130 this season? Like, we'll have 2 more special kits this season?
You think we'll have 2 more special? I think definitely get the 4th, and then I think, yeah, probably.
When do you think you'll get to 130? Like,
What's
you're
that?
2 away. When do you think you'll get to 130 kits? Like this season, or is it going to be next season?
Oh, yeah. Well, it'll be this one because I'm getting the home and away for sure this year. I pretty much get all the ones
Great.
every year because complete series, right? Like a collection's no good with gaps. And I do have some old school ones that I just can't find right now that are really, really posing an issue.
Gotta be happy you're not a Napoli fan because you need like a full house.
Yeah, they had like 13 this year or something. Could you
11.
imagine? Jesus. But we don't want to talk about them maximizing finances on a player's passing. But regardless, is what it is. Guys, had a lot of fun. Great show. Hope everybody enjoyed the kit show there at the end. But you guys are great as always. Again, reminder, like the video, subscribe if you're new. One-stop shop for everything Juventus. All Juve, all the time, baby. I'll keep you in the loop moving forward with the daily updates. We'll have another live next week. Working on some special guests. It's always hard this time of year because everybody likes to enjoy the off season and just take a breather when it comes to content creation. But not me. I like to just keep it rolling. I don't like breaks. We don't need breaks. Okay. So we'll keep it going. Enjoy the rest of your weekends. Tomorrow's daily update will be coming from the lake because I'm heading out there right now. Everybody enjoy your weekends. Have a great time. Talk to you soon. As always, fino alla fine. Forza Juventus. Ciao tutti.